All right, this one should be short. I'm going to cover the other two problems in the Complete the Square worksheet on the back when it says A is not 1. That's the side that has the two diagrams there. And we're going to do question number 9 in the task and finish that up as well. So give me 1 second here as we write the rest of this down, and we're going to go. So we're going to generalize the process. Most of us all know what we do to an equation like this when we look at our notes, and it tells us we divide a out of the first two terms, which is exactly what we do. So we get x squared plus 4x plus something, and then 1 minus something. So we want to make sure we generalize what we're doing. Well, when we generalize that, we're just going to say we divide a from the first two terms. I'm going to underline the first two. The other thing we want to generalize is something else that we're doing, and I'm going to highlight A, B, and C. And if you notice, what we're doing is we're taking C and we're also removing or separating it from the first two terms as well. So I'm going to generalize that as well. We also separate A from the first two terms. And I'm going to underline that. Okay, so not only do we divide A by the first two, we move C. So divide A, move C. That's essentially what we do. Well, now that I've done that, what's the second thing I do? The second thing I want to do is I want to focus on what is going to make the parentheses here, inside the parentheses, a perfect square. What's going to make that is by taking 4, dividing it by 2, and squaring it, which is 2 squared, which is 4. So now I need to generalize that. Well, how do I generalize it? Easy. B divided by 2 and square it. Basic. After I have found what value goes into the parentheses, I have to do the third step, the third generalization of what I need to do. Well, in the notes, you really need to find out how much you're adding. How much am I really adding? Remember, this 2 out front tells me how many models I'm dealing with, or how many diagrams I'm dealing with in my entire model. Well, I'm dealing with 2 of them. But the parentheses tell me about them individually. So this 4 is individual per model. Remember, it's the little single unit squares per model. So if the 4 is individual per model, how many am I really adding? I'm really adding 8, so I have to subtract 8. So in a general sense, we need to find out how much we're really adding, okay, so we need to find out how much we're really adding. That's the last number times the A value. And we are going to add in parentheses and subtract out of parentheses. I added 4 in, but I'm really adding 8, so I subtract 8. All right, now the last step is just to rewrite it. So rewrite it as a product of squares. This now is a perfect square. I've made it that way. Okay, so x plus or minus. Look back at your original equation, going to be minus. What number is going to go here? My h value becomes the number I divided 2 by. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then 1 minus 8 is negative 7. Okay, I have some left over. So the last thing here is to rewrite as a perfect square plus or minus what's left. Okay? So if you need to pause and do that. And then we're going to go ahead and tackle the third one, and that should be done. That should take care of everything for us. We did talk a little bit about the set in class today, but I'm going to do a separate video on that. So this one's going to wrap it up. Okay, what do? Divide A, move C. So show what I divided. So this gives me 3x squared plus, don't make the mistake that so many students make and put 6x here. It's 2x plus a number. And then I got to move that C. So minus 9 minus something else. Focus on this being one perfect square. What value is going to make this a perfect square? 2 divided by 2 squared is 1 squared, which is 1. Right here. Step 3, find out how much I'm really adding. Well, I'm really adding 3, so how much do I have to really subtract? 3. Step 4, rewrite as a perfect square. Okay, so 3 times x, look at that sign in the front, plus, what did I get when I cut my middle term in half? I got 1, so x plus 1. And then 9 minus 3, whatever's left over. 9 minus 3 is negative 12. Okay, so there you go. If you have any questions, ask, and we are going to work on the set. Make sure you get your assignment in and in on time.